Okay, hello everyone. I'm just sharing this out real quick, making sure everything's okay. Yeah, that was a message. I don't need that. All right, so obviously I am a little late today. Um, had a lot of running around to do, and I thought I would be back before 12. It's now 12:39, so I was back later than expected, but that's okay. Um, what an eventful morning. Hello, good afternoon, Issues. She says she's been waiting for me. Yeah, I started my day really early this morning, and I knew I had to go a couple places. I had to do a little shopping, had some errands to do, and about the time it always goes that way. It never goes as planned. But you know something? I'm here. We're going to be reading Samuel, the first book of Samuel, which is exciting. We're starting a new book, and I labeled this show Directions. Which, you know, something, I always like my little monologue phase where I talk about just things that happen or things that are on my mind and all this. And I always like to tie it into, and it's amazing how everything that I do somehow ties into um, biblical sense or religious sense or God sense. And I think it's just amazing. So today, I'm a reseller, so I sell things. I have my own business. I used to own my own thrift store, but that's another story. When my relationship ended, I had to close down my thrift store, and long story made short. But so now I do it on a very small scale. Well, it just so happens, being that I was going to be in town, I decided that hey, somebody wanted to pick something up instead of them coming to me. I'm in town anyway. Why don't I just go to them? And they were so grateful. They're like, "Oh, thank you. That's grateful." So they gave me directions to get to their house. And here's the interesting thing about the directions. I use Google Maps for everything. I have no sense of directions. I really don't. And Google Maps is pretty accurate. And even if it is not accurate, you pretty much could get. So it turns out this woman lives on a main road. And she specifically told me, don't follow what Google says because I live in an apartment complex and Google will send you to a house. So I'm like, okay, so I'm looking for an apartment complex. Then she says, well, call me when you're on your way so this way I can tell you exactly. I says, okay. So I call her and she sends me this long instructions that I'm looking for a tree stump by a sign with a red truck, and she's giving me exact instructions on how to find her. So, and bear in mind, she's on a main road. So I'm like, all right, whatever. So I Google it, I get to the general area, and it brings me to this house. But she specifically said, that's not my house. So I'm like, okay. So now I'm going up and down, and I'm on the phone with her, and she's going on and on about you need to find the tree stump with the sign with the. So I said, okay, what is your cross street? Well, no, don't look for the cross street. Look for. And then she's saying, well, I'm not. I'm facing the road. So I said, wait a minute. You're not even on the road. You're on a different road. You're just facing the road that I'm on. And she's like, well, my apartment is in the back, but I'm facing the road. So finally, I find her house, which turns out it wasn't an apartment complex at all. She says it's an apartment complex. And I looked at her, I'm like, this is a house. And she's like, well, it's a house among an apartment complex. So that was issue number one. Issue number two, she's on the road. She's not facing the road, she's literally on the road. Three, she's on a corner, so there's a cross street right there. And I even said, what's the cross street? And she says, there isn't any. She's on a cross street. So I pretty much went up to her. I says, you give the worst instructions I've ever heard. I says, but at least I found it. Here's your item. Have a great day. And I walked away from her. So then she starts texting me how rude and insensitive I am, that she was only trying to help me and this and that. And it's like I spent 20 minutes. If she would have just let me get to the destination, but she kept saying, no, that's not it. That I was there the entire time. I was at her house the entire time. But she kept saying, look for this, look for this, look for this, look for this. And I started going up and down looking for an apartment complex, looking for a tree stump, looking for it. And even her car, she says there's a red truck in the driveway. Well, it turns out the red truck in the driveway is behind the house. You can't even see the red truck in the driveway from the road. So if she would have just gave me her address and that was it, I would have ended up exactly where I was, would have gave her her item, and would have walked away and everything would have been fine. But instead, I'm wasting 30 minutes trying to find this apartment complex with the tree, with the sign, with the red thing, and I was there the entire time. So, how this ties in, because this is actually kind of interesting, is directions in life. It really it ties in. There are times in your life where you are completely lost. You have no sense of directions. You don't know where you're going. You don't know what you're doing. You have a map. You have GPS. You have your eyesight. You could be looking, and in actuality, you could be at the very place that you're supposed to be. I didn't mean to be rude, but is this a Catholic Bible so I can listen or no? No, you're not being rude. It's a good question. I'm reading the Bible from the very first time. My father's side was Catholic. My mother's side was born again Christian. I'm reading this for the first time, trying to learn and observe. So what I usually do is I do a monologue, which I'm doing now, which ties into religion. Then I'm going to say a prayer. Then we're going to read the Bible, and we're going to start on First Book of Samuel. And it's like I said, it's the first time I'm reading it. So as I read it, I go through it and I'll ask questions. We'll analyze it. We'll see word and diction choices. I have a couple of other Bibles to compare it to. And that's how I do it. So please feel free to listen. If you're not interested, welcome anyway. I'm glad that you joined. So, but in regards to directions, as I was talking about, sometimes we get so lost and we don't realize that we are there. We don't realize because either there's distractions, either somebody is leading us the wrong way, either we're not paying attention. So I find it interesting because this is such a guy thing that if a man gets lost, very rarely will they ask for directions. Women, on the other hand, if they get lost, they ask for directions. I mean, I've done that many times. Guys, repent. Jesus died for you on the cross and gave us the ability to get to heaven to repent. Absolutely. Anyway, so the Lord Jesus, God, is always there and always available to give directions. If you were to ask, if you were to receive, if you would be open minded to seriously follow in the directions. And I think that's a beautiful thing if you think about it is when you are lost and when you can't find your way, you have the ability to turn to your heavenly Father for direction. But so many times people refuse to do that. People will not listen. People will not see the signs. I mean, it's almost amazing. A friend of mine, he works on a marina, and it's the dull time. I mean, he works on a marina, frozen, and he says, "You know what I did this morning?" He says, "There's ice all over the place. It's frozen. There's snow everywhere." He says, "I just drove up to the docks, looked out into the water, watched the sunrise," and he's like, and I just thought how absolutely beautiful it was. And I said to him, I says, "That's your stop and smell the roses moment. Those little times in your life where you can just look and view at the miracles that are all around you." And it makes me wonder, how can people be so blind and say that there's nothing out there, that there's no creator, that there's no sense of purpose or some, and it makes me wonder, like, because I was one of those people. I was lost. I was one of those people that were like, there's nothing. We're just gonna turn into the ground. We're just gonna be a whole bunch of worms. There's no future. And I realized by having that mentality and having that thought, it it reflected in every single part of my life. Whereas when you have something to look forward to, when you can see the beauty around you, when you can feel the miracles that are all around you, when you know in times of trouble that you can ask for directions. I mean, it's a completely different perspective. So I wanted to share that. I thought that was an interesting thing. So yeah, maybe I was a little rude to her, but like I said, I was so aggravated that it took me 30 minutes because of her awful directions, where all she had to do was give me the address and the cross street. That's it. Address and cross street. I mean, she didn't even have to give me the cross street. It just so happens that during the conversation I says, "Can you give me your cross street?" And she couldn't give me her cross street, and it turns out she is right on a corner with a cross street. So if she would have said, "I'm on the corner of this and this, that's where my house is," wow, that would have made so much sense. But no, the directions was look for a tree stump, look for a red car that's not even in the driveway, look for a little road sign, and the fact that she's facing the road. So I'm like, wait a minute. So that means you're not on the road. If you're facing the road, are you on the road or you're not on the road? But yeah. So anybody who's lost, you know something? What's beautiful? You can always ask for directions above. Hello, Lola. Thank you so much. Welcome to the show. So after that, I think I need to settle down. I've got my little drink. I've got my water. I've got my kitty cats. We're gonna say a prayer. Um, I even went to the bookstore and I got a whole bunch of books, which I'm really excited about. So it's like I'm gonna unwind, do this show, say a prayer, and then we're gonna get to the first book of Samuel, which is a new book. I'm excited when we start new books because one of the things I like to look at is how the tone changes, how the storyline changes, perspectives, and we see it. I mean, definitely compared to how Moses wrote his line and compared to how Ruth, and you can see the little changes that are done within the books. So let's start off with a prayer. And like I said, this is an open prayer time. If anybody has specific prayers, absolutely put it in the chat. If you don't believe in God or anything like that, take this time to reflect upon yourself, or you could pray to whoever you want. I'm choosing to pray to Jesus and the Heavenly Father, but I leave it open to whoever you would like to do. So I need a breather. I need to take a moment. Dear Heavenly Father, I come to you today with thankfulness, with gratitude, with joy. Every time I come on this live, you grant me wisdom, clarity, and excitement for each day. I'm hoping that as we read this, we come to an understanding of what your words truly are. I'm thankful for everybody who comes and attends this. I'm also thankful that you can shield from any opposition, from anybody who's here to destroy or ruin this peaceful life. I thank you so much. And if there is anybody out there who requires a little extra prayer, help, or guidance, I ask that you please shield them and cover them with your glory and love. In Jesus' name, amen. Yeah, I feel better. I do. I feel better. Um, it's interesting. I was watching a video and it made me think in regards to prayer, because one of the things that the video mentioned is that when people pray, they tend to just use words without actually putting meaning behind those words. Oh, thank you so much. Jesus loves you, Layla, and thank you, Kaylin. Welcome to the show. I don't know what you mean. They got to be the same. No, you mean who I'm praying to, or they could be what the way I look at it. They could be whatever you want, and that's why I said if people don't specifically pray to Jesus or to talking to someone else, do they have to be the same? Not too sure what you mean by that. But like I said, for me it's an open prayer. I choose to pray to the Heavenly Father. I choose to pray to Jesus. I pray to God interchangeably. I'm still trying to figure out for myself if it is one and the same. But when I was talking about prayer, a lot of times people just use words without using meaning. And that's what happened with me. In the beginning, I had a little tiny script. Here, I had somebody write me a prayer. Oh, I ripped it. I had somebody write me a prayer because I didn't know how to pray. So I said, "Can you please write me a prayer?" So, and I started reading it. And then afterwards, I started getting more comfortable using my own words. Oh, she said is it a Catholic Bible? Not I can't listen. Was wondering if they're different. Oh, I don't know. She may or may not be listening. If she is, that's fine. I mean, like I said, it's I am reading King James, so um maybe or maybe not. I don't know. But I try to make each prayer unique and different and whatever I feel strongly about. And then I do have to admit I'm starting to pray more and more. I pray over my meals. I pray when I need guidance, and I pray as a thankfulness because I am so thankful that I can live another day. And that's very important. I mean, I think people forget the lesson that every day can truly be our last day, and we take that for granted. And I'm just so joyful that every day I can wake up and enjoy the world around me. So, all right. Well, welcome to the show, username. It's nice to see you. I don't know if they're here or not, but maybe they are, maybe they're not, maybe they're listening. I also have YouTube in the background as well. So, hello to YouTube crowd. And I have my kitties who are cranky. Ah, she's biting me. Stop it. If you don't be good, you're going to have to get up because I need. Here, hold on. She's being mean. Come on. You're going down. I love you, baby, but she's sitting on my notes. So if she's sitting on my notes, I can't take notes. Most of the time, I'm good, but today she needs to get down because she's a little cranky. All right, so what we're going to read is the first book of Samuel. It's otherwise called the first book of Kings, so that's interesting. And if I'm not mistaken, they kept saying in the previous the book of Judges that there was no king of Israel. There was judges, but at this point they didn't have any kings. So I'm going to assume if this is the first book of Kings, are we finally going to get a king with the children of Israel? Hello, West Shepherd. It was me. Wouldn't it be nice? I would love to win $10 million. But you know something? I it's interesting when people say something like that. $10 million. Like, yes, your life would instantly change, but I also wonder if it's worth it because with that much of instantaneous money coming into somebody's life can also bring bad things into their life too. You got a chance to watch yet? It's interesting. Okay, I will watch. I will. I feel you're going to win it. Thank you so much. You know something? That's positive thinking. I try to. I mean, I try not to say, "Hey, I'm going to win 10 million." I'm even grateful if I win like $5. You know what I mean? It's like me and you are richer than that. I want to say I'm rich in love, light, and happiness. That although money would really make my life easier in some ways, I think having that much money would just be way too much money for me. I think I would end up going in the wrong direction instead of going in the right direction. So, yeah, I almost want to say 10 million would be way too much for me. But you know something? Hey, if I got $10 million, you know what? I would probably, this is going to sound funny, I would probably definitely open something for the community. I know that sounds crazy, but I always wanted to do like a community center, but something that involved everyone and the family and this and that. And people are like, oh, there's already things. No, there's not. I mean, I almost want to say a lot of things that they try to put family together are so either restricted or expensive or this and that. I mean, there's so many things that prevent families from truly going that, yeah, I would open something for the community that not only kids can be involved in, but their parents and family can be involved in as well. And dare I even say this, because this is an interesting perspective, a center even that could be shared among people who either have children or don't have children, which I know that can be dangerous, but you know what I mean? Like that's what I would like to do. What book is that? This is we're going to be starting the first book of Samuel, which is otherwise called the first book of Kings. It's the 1977 King James version that I'm reading. So yeah. But that's what I would do with $10 million. I would probably open up a center that can have a whole bunch of events going on all the time, not just like one day this or that, and it can be open to everyone and anyone. You know what I mean? Because I feel like, I mean, all right, like my town has a senior center. Well, the senior center is only for seniors. We also have like a kids club. Well, it's only for kids. I would love to have like a family community center. Oh, Sarah says, "Am I feeling any better today?" Actually, believe it or not, I am. Yesterday I was in so much pain, and then after the show, my back completely gave out, and I was hunched over. I couldn't even move. So, what's interesting about that is I ended up taking a pain reliever. I put heating pad on. I put some muscle relaxer, and I rested. And you know something? Felt so much better afterwards. So maybe that's what it was. I wasn't feeling well, but yeah, I feel better. I got up this morning and was racing around. So thank you for asking, Sarah. I appreciate that. Kath, welcome to the show. Your first time here. Well, I'm going to be starting the first book of Samuel. So welcome to the show. We already said our prayer. I already did my funny little monologue where I tie everything because I always start my show with some sort of funny story. And today happened to be on directions, which to tie it in, just a quick repeat, is that we could be lost in our lives, but we always have, if we ask, someone who can give us direction. Pray to Jesus, pray to God, pray to the Lord. We can always have. Did somebody just say, "Oh, Kathy, thank you so much"? I heard a cha-ching and I'm like, what is that? I got an awesome, a little kitty cat. Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you. Definitely appreciate that. Yeah, I guess my volume, because usually it doesn't make noise, but it made a noise. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. But yes, with direction, we always have somebody we could focus on for direction. All we have to do is ask. So I thought that was a very important thing, considering this morning I was supposed to go to somebody's house and they gave me the wrong directions. So anyway, all right, first book of Samuel. Now they call it the first book of Kings, so I'm going to assume we are getting a king for the very first time because judges they were calling the leaders of the children of Israel judges, and they kept saying within there's never been a king, there's never been a king. So if this is the first book of Kings, are we finally getting a king of the children of Israel? That's a question. I don't know. Let's find out. All right, so chapter 1, Samuel. Now there was a certain man of Ramathaim of the Mount Ephraim, and his name was Elkanah, the son of Joram, the son of Eliah, the son of Tohu, the son of Zuphah, and Ephraim. Okay. He had two wives. The name of one was Hannah, the name of the other was Peninnah. And Peninnah had children, but Hannah had no children. Okay, so we got two wives. All right. This man went up to a city yearly to worship and sacrifice unto the Lord of hosts in Shiloh. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, the priests of the Lord, were there. Okay, so he's on the Lord's side. I got to make sure of this because yesterday when we were reading Ruth, I got confused which side they were on because one person was on the Lord's side, the other one was on the old God side. And I'm like, okay, wait, who are they worshiping? So he's worshiping the Lord. So he's still part of the children of Israel. So, okay. And when it was time that Elkanah offered, he gave Peninnah his wife and all her sons and daughters portions. But unto Hannah he gave a worthy portion, for he loved Hannah. But the Lord had shut her womb. Okay, so that's that. So even though he has two wives, The one who was barren, he loved more. The one who wasn't barren, who bare him children, was his wife, but he didn't necessarily. No, I don't want to say he didn't love her. It's just she wasn't. He wasn't favored like Hannah was. Okay, so now I see where the story goes. Can I describe who God is? You know something? I'm going to leave that up to you because people don't like when I say this, but I am going to say this. Perception is reality. So, however you perceive God to be will become your reality. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the reality for everybody else. So, that's my answer is can I describe who God is? Because who God is to me may not be the same definition of who God is to you, and how he affects my life and why I worship him and how I worship him is probably going to be different. So I leave that up to you on describing who God is. All right. And her adversary also provoked her sore for to make her fret, because the Lord had shut her womb. Okay, so I'm assuming Hannah and Penina, that's who they mean adversaries. Like they were wives, but were they like petty and let's see. And he did so year by year. When he went to the house of the Lord, so she provoked her. Therefore she wept and did not eat. Then said Elkanah her husband to her, Hannah, why weepest thou? And why eatest not? And why is thy heart grieved? Am I not better to thee than 10 sons? So Hannah rose up after they had eaten in Shiloh, and after they had drunk. Now Eli, the priest, sat up to eat and post of the temple of the Lord. Okay, sorry. And she was in the bitterness of the soul, and prayed unto the Lord, and wept sore. And she vowed a vow, and said, O Lord of hosts. Oh, wait. Did I miss something? I'm sorry. Okay. Mary said she passed away. Thank you for the prayers the other day. Wait. I missed what you said, Miriam. Okay, welcome to the show. I'm not too sure who passed away, but my condolences. We're so sorry for your loss. Oh, you like my voice when I read the book? Thank you so much. I appreciate that. But yes, Maris, my condolences to whoever. Oh, I asked you. Oh, you asked to pray for. Oh, okay, Maris, you did. I missed that. She had pneumonia. I am so sorry. We want to. Yes, we prayed for your grandmother, but she did pass. Um, my condolences on that to you and your family. I mean, what I'm gonna. This may be helpful or not, but please know that she has gone to a good place and she's shining down upon you and smiling on you. I mean, it's very hard when you lose. I mean, when my grandmother passed away, it was devastating. So I understand how you feel, but always know that she will be with you no matter what. Um, Jarna, God bless you and God bless your family. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Um, I just want to make sure. Did I miss anything? Okay, I didn't miss anything. Yeah, I'm sorry, Maris. I missed the concept. The concept. The content. I missed the content when you said that, so that's why I was a little confused what you meant. But I'm so sorry. We are on Samuel chapter 1 verse 11. She vowed a vow and said, O Lord of hosts, if thou indeed look on an affliction of thine handmaid, and remember me, and not forget thine handmaid, but will give me unto thy handmaid a man child, then I will give him unto the Lord all the days of his life, and there shall be no razor that come upon his head. Okay. Now, see, I have to stop right here. There must be a cultural significance because this is now the fourth time in regards to something with the hair. So, for example, we were getting with Samson and Delilah. Samson never cut his hair. And it was the moment that she cut his hair that he lost his strength. When women were taken as slaves but wanted to become a wife, they had to shave their head, take all their hair off, be sequestered for a month before they can come to their husband, who is their captor. But that's usually out of love. I mean, it was more of a consensual thing, not a non-consensual thing. But when their captor took them and wanted to be their husband, they would have to shave their head. So now this is a promise she's making that says, look, Lord, if you grant me a son to the handmaid, not that she's going to have the baby, but somebody else for on her behalf, like a surrogate, she will say, we will not shave, no razor shall ever become on his head. So there's definitely some sort of cultural significance behind cutting of the hair during this time. Um, which that they keep. I mean, it's not as important as it is now, but it's just funny how it says, no razor shall come on his head. And it came to pass, she continued praying before the Lord, that Eli marked her mouth. Now Hannah, she spoke in her heart, only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore, Eli thought she had been drunken. Okay, forgive me if I'm wrong. It came to pass, she continued praying, that Eli marked her mouth. Does that mean he slapped her and marked her mouth? Melanie, is your live in US? Yes. Normally, I'm in Central Time. I'm in Texas. So normally I do it around 10 a.m. Central to around 2 p.m. Central Time. The only thing is, I had appointments this morning, so I just started about 30 minutes ago. So I'll probably still go on till maybe about 3, 4 o'clock today. But yeah, I'm on every single day unless I have an appointment. This morning I had an appointment, so. Hmm. Okay, so Sarah says he watched her mouth. Okay, so that's what I mean. Is it a did he hit her, or did he just like tell her to shush sort of thing? I'm gonna go to the parallel Bible. Oh baby, just in case, because I'm just curious. Did he smack her that she marked her mouth, or was it simply a silencer, like hush, woman, enough with the prayer sort of thing? You know what I mean? Because that could actually be a significant thing, if that makes sense. I'm just gonna see real quick what the other books say. Yeah, if you notice me, I'll stop at a word and it'll be a different word with the different Bibles. And it's like, okay, did he hit her or did he just be like, hush, hush, woman? That sort of thing. Okay, verse 12 we're on. Okay, so verse 12 said, he continued praying before the Lord. Eli observed her mouth, or Eli Eli noticed her mouth moving as she was praying silently and hearing no sound, thought she had been drinking. Okay, that's a little weird. Okay. This one says she kept on praying to the Lord. Eli observed her mouth. And then this one says Eli marked her mouth. Okay. I'm going to say it has absolutely nothing to do with slapping. I got a little worried because when I'm reading this, I'm like, wait a minute, he slapped her for praying. That's where my mind went because I'm thinking, what does marking her mouth? Simply, he's watching her. That sounds better. That sounds better. So that's why she must have been praying silently to herself with her lips moving. Yeah, because it says, it came to pass she continued praying before the Lord. Eli watched her mouth. As she spoke in her heart, only her lips moved, but her voice was not heard. Therefore, Eli thought she was drunk. Okay, so she was basically mouthing the words. So he thought, okay, this woman is drunk because she's not saying anything, she's not doing anything, she's just moving her mouth. Right. That sounds a little better to me. Because I'll be like, what's going on? He's smacking her about. All right, let me keep going. Eli said unto her, how long wilt thou be drunken? Put away thy wine from thee. And Hannah said, no, my lord, I am a woman, a sorrowful spirit. I have drunk neither wine nor strong drink, but I have poured out my soul before the Lord. Count not thy handmaid for a daughter of Belial, and out of abundance of my complaint and grief I have spoken herethus. Then Eli answered and said, go in peace, and the God of Israel grant thee thy petition that thou hast asked of him. Okay, so that's very pretty. All right, so thank you so much, Kathy. I appreciate the gifts. Okay, so that makes me feel better. It does make me feel better. So basically, she's silently praying to the Lord. But as she's silently praying to the Lord, her lips are moving. Because Eli's looking at, like, woman, are you drunk? Because he's not understanding that she's praying. And she's like, no, no, my Lord, I'm not drunk. I am but a woman. I'm just praying. I'm praying to the Lord for, and he's granting her. He's like, okay, go in peace, continue with what you're doing. I hope he grants what you ask for. And she said, let thy handmaid find grace in thy sight. So the woman went her way and did eat, and her countenance was no more sad. Okay, so she felt better. She's like, okay, I feel better. They rose up in the morning early and worshipped. Oh, thank you so much, Kathy. I appreciate that. I don't know. For some reason, this is the first time I'm hearing sound when I get a gift. I never used to hear sound. So that's just interesting. Thank you. And they rose up in the morning early, worshipped before the Lord, and returned. Came to the house of Ramah, and Elkanah knew Hannah, his wife, and the Lord remembered her. Okay, so remember, when the Bible says to know, means they're actually they're having sex. So so when it says Elkanah knew Hannah, his wife, it means he's having sex with his wife. But the Lord remembered her. So does that mean that they're going to have a baby? I don't know. The Lord simply remembered her. So let's see. Wherefore it came to pass, when the time was about to come, after Hannah had conceived, that she bore a son. Okay, so yes, let's see. They did the deed. The Lord remembered her prayers, so he granted them a child. And she came and she bore a son. And she called his name Samuel, saying, because I have asked him of the Lord. And the man Elikah and all the house went up to offer the Lord the yearly sacrifice and his vow. So this is so happy. She prayed to the Lord. She got her freak on with her husband. They got the baby. She named it Samson, and now they're going up to make the sacrifice in thankfulness of the Lord. So this is like a happy story. I like this. I hope it stays happy. Let's see what happens. But Hannah went not up, for she said unto her husband, I will not go up until the child be weaned, as then I will bring him, and he may appear before the Lord and abide forever. Okay, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Lord, remember her. May God give her what she wants. Aw. All right, so is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I would think you would need to wait until the child is weaned because it would be too little. I mean, like too much of a baby to make that trek to up the mountain. So let me just see. And Elikah, her husband, said unto her, do what seem thee good. Tarry until thou have weaned him. Only the Lord established his word. So the woman abode and gave her son suck until she weaned him. And when she weaned him, she took him up with her with 3 bullocks and 1 ephah of flour, bottle of wine, and brought him into the house of the Lord in Shiloh. And the child was young. And they slew a bullock and brought the child to Eli. And she said, O my Lord, as thou soul liveth, my Lord, I am the woman that stood thee here praying unto the Lord. For this child I prayed, and the Lord had given me petition which I asked him. Therefore I also have lent him to the Lord. As long as he lived, he shall be lent to the Lord, and he shall worship the Lord there. Okay, so there's an invisible man who gives you 10% of your income, and you don't meet until you're dead. Welcome to the show, JQ. Tread lightly. That's all I have to say. Okay, so she promised the Lord if he gave her a son, she would give him back to the Lord. Okay, so that's what she's doing. Correct? I mean, that's what it says. Therefore, I lent him to the Lord. I'm going to give you back to the Lord. So I'm assuming she is honoring her promise. Yes, she's honoring her promise. The only thing she did was she waited until he was actually weaned, which makes sense because, like I said, you're not going to bring a little tiny infant up a mountain and make that sort of trek. So it sounds like she did a good thing. They both honored. So let's see. And Hannah prayed and said, my heart rejoiced in the Lord. My horn is exalted in the Lord. My mouth is enlarged over my enemies because I rejoice in thy salvation. There is none holy as the Lord, for there is none beside thee, neither is there any rock like our God. I like that. There's no rock like our God. I had to say that. Yeah, I got my stone. In fact, I will say this. You can laugh at me. I put my little Jesus on top of the stone. That's my love. See, that's my rock. He stays right here. Yeah. I know people can laugh at me like the idols. For me, that's important. He's our firm foundation. Absolutely. So I like that. It's like none besides thee, neither is there any rock like our God. There we go. There is no more exceedingly proudly. Let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. Oh, you know something? I got to start writing this because I'm starting to see some really, really interesting. I got to write this down. Sorry. Samuel chapter 2 and 3. Okay, so there's no rock like our God. And then this one, the Lord is a God of knowledge. God of knowledge. And by him actions are weighed. Which is interesting because that talks about the terms of judgment, if you think about it. How is the miraculously surely you can see it's written by a man? I climbed a mountain this morning, so God's a rock. Yeah, he's our firm foundation. Absolutely. You can make God whatever you want to be. I like this because God, the Lord is a God of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. So what that's telling me is too many times people will make judgments. People will try to condemn your own actions, that somebody else's actions, where this is saying, no, by him actions are weighed. He's the one that makes the decisions, not everybody else. You know something, JQ? My patience is limited today. I'm just my patience is totally limited. Everybody else can say thank you, but I just can't. It's all right. You know what's going to happen tomorrow? He's going to get pissed off. Why did you block me? Why did you? And you know what? This is where I'm going to say, JQ. If you don't understand why I blocked you, then reflect and think upon it. Okay. What is the verse for today? We are starting First Samuel. I'm on chapter 2, and I'm just about to go to verse 4. So First Samuel 2:4. Okay, so the bows of mighty men are broken, and they stumbled are girded with strength. That they were full have hired out themselves for bread, and that they were hungry cease. So that the barren had been born 7, and she had many children, is waxed feeble. Now hold on, is this a song? I just want to see something. Chapter 2. Okay, so this is all part of the prayer. Okay. I wanted to make sure when I read my particular Bible, if something is like a prayer or a song, it doesn't necessarily like italicize it or put it in it just looks like words. So that's why I was trying to figure out, is this something she's praying or something she's singing, or is it just something that's being said? So this is part of the prayer that she's doing. Oh, you love it? Lots share the. Thank you so much, Arvin. I appreciate it. Okay, yours is indented. Yeah, mine doesn't become indented when I read stuff like this. So that's why I wanted to look at the revised. I'm like, okay, now it makes sense. So basically, all the way up to verse 11 would be the prayer. So that's why I was like, because it wasn't making sense to me for a minute, because I'm reading it. I'm like, okay, this is like a prayer. All right, so that they were full, hired out themselves for bread, and they were their hunger ceased. So that barren had borne seven, and she had many children, is waxed feeble. The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. The Lord made pooreth and make rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust and lifted up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among the princes and to make inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and he had set the world upon them. He will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness. For by strength shall no man prevail. The adversaries of the Lord shall be broken to pieces. Out of heaven shall be thunder upon them. The Lord shall judge the ends of the earth, and he shall give strength unto his king and exalt the horn of his anointed. Okay, so now that makes so much sense, because I'm reading this and I'm like, wait a minute. But that's actually beautiful, because when you look at that, when you read that, you're seeing what the Lord does, how he makes the poor rich, how he heals, how he does the strength. The wicked shall be silenced in the darkness. So that's beautiful. Okay, so now we're back to regular text until, okay, we're back to regular text now. And Elikah went to Ramah to his house, and the child did minister unto the Lord before Eli the priest. Now the sons of Eli were sons of Belial. They knew not the Lord. Okay, so wait a minute. Eliah. It's the Lord before Eli the priest. Now the sons of Eli were sons of Belial, and they knew not the Lord. Okay, so that's weird. So if Eli is the priest, his sons did not worship the Lord, they worshiped Belial instead. And the priest's custom with the people was that when any man offered sacrifice, the priest's service came while the flesh was seething with a flesh hook of 3 teeth in his hand. Interesting. And it struck it into the pan or kettle or cauldron or pot. All that the flesh hook brought up, the priest took for himself. So they did in Shiloh unto the Israelites that came there. Also, before they burned the fat, the priest's servants came and said to the man that sacrificed, give flesh to roast for the priest, for he will not have sodden flesh of thee, but raw. And if any man said unto him, let them not fail to burn the fat presently, and then take as much as the soul desire, then he would answer him, nay, but thou shalt give it to me now, and if not, I will take it by force. Wherefore the sin of the young men was very great before the Lord, for men abhorred the offering of the Lord. Okay, so Eli, they were worshiping Belial. So Belial is a completely different god. They're not worshiping the Lord. And they have this custom that if somebody's going to make a sacrifice, they're basically going to scoop it up with this 3 prong, and whatever they scoop up, that is going to be their food. But if they don't make the sacrifice, they're just going to take it upon themselves anyway. And what they're saying is that they abhorred, they wanted nothing to do with anybody who's making an offering to the Lord. Okay, sorry, my nose is running, guys. But Samuel ministered before the Lord, being a child, girded with a linen ephod. Ephod being the breastplate. Moreover, his mother made him a little coat and brought it to him from year to year when she came with her husband to offer the yearly sacrifice. And Eli blessed Elkanah and his wife and said, "The Lord give thee seed of this woman for the loan which is lent to the Lord." And they went unto their home. And the Lord visited Hannah so that she conceived and bare 3 sons and 2 daughters. Okay, so now she's even bearing even more. Originally, she bore Samuel. Now she's having 3 sons and 2 more daughters. So she's actually quite fertile now. It wasn't just like a one-time deal. And the child Samuel grew up before the Lord. Now Eli was very old and heard all that his sons did unto Israel, and how they lay with the woman that assembled at the door of the tabernacle to the congregation. And he said unto them, "Why do ye such things? For I hear your evil dealings by all these people." Okay, so it was his sons. He's still worshiping, the father is still worshiping the Lord in a good way. It's the sons that are interfering um, with their sacrifice. So they're marring the sacrifice to the Lord, and he's asking his sons, "Why are you doing this?" And he said unto them, "Why do you do such things? For I hear your evil dealings by all these people. Nay, my sons, for it is no good report that I hear. Ye make the Lord's people to transgress. If one man sin against another, the judge shall judge him. But if a man sins against the Lord, who shall entreat him? Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto the voice of their father, because the Lord would slay them. And the child Samuel grew on, and was in favor of both the Lord and also with men. And there came a man of God unto Eli, and said unto him, "Thus saith the Lord, did I plainly appear in the house of thy father when they were in Egypt, in Pharaoh's house?" Okay, so wait a minute. There came a man of God. So is that an angel? Is that simply somebody who's like a priest? Is this one of the Jesus coming to visit again without knowing it's Jesus? Did I plainly appear in the house of thy father when they were in Egypt, in the Pharaoh's house? And did I choose him out of all the tribes of Israel to be my priest, to offer my altar, to burn incense, to wear an ephod before me? And did I give thee the house of thy father, all the offerings made by fire of Israel? Wherefore kick ye at my sacrifice, at my offering, which I have commanded in my in my habitation? And honorest thy sons above me, to make yourselves fat with the chiefest of all the offerings of the Israel of my people. Wherefore the God of Israel saith, I indeed that my house and the house of thy father should walk before me forever. But now the Lord said, Be it far from me, for they have honored me, and I will honor, and they will despise me, shall be lightly esteemed. Behold, the days come, I will cut off thy arm and the arm of thy father's house, that there shall not be an old man in thy house. So basically, he's going to kill them at a young age. And thou shalt see me an enemy in my habitation, in all the wealth which God shall give Israel. And there shall not be an old man in thy house forever. And the man of thine, who I shall not cut off from my altar, shall be consumed thy eyes, and to grieve in thy heart. And all the increase of thy house shall die in the flower of their age. And he shall be a sign unto thee that shall come unto 2 sons, on Hophni and Phinehas. In one day they shall die, both of them. Okay, so this is a prophecy. So both children are going to die the same day. And I will raise me a faithful priest that shall do according to that which is of mine heart and in my mind. And I will build him a sure house, and he shall walk before mine anointed forever. And it shall come to pass that every one that is left in thine house shall come and crouch to him for a piece of silver and a morsel of bread, and shall say, Put me, I pray, into one of the priest's offices, that I may eat a piece of bread. Okay, so this, excuse me, guys, I'm sorry. So this man of the Lord, I'm still trying to figure out, is it an angel or is it not? But it's simply a man of God, and he's basically saying what God is going to, and he's prophesizing. He's saying, "You're not, there's never going to be an old man in this house. Your children, Hophni and Phineas, are going to die on the same day. You will be begging at the feet to put a piece of bread into the mouth. You will crouch upon them for a piece of silver and a morsel of bread." So he's warning them. He's like, basically, because your sons have done this deed, your house is pretty much cursed. For lack of better words, he cursed the house. Excuse me. Chapter 3. The child Samuel ministered the Lord before Eli, and the word of the Lord was precious in those days. There was no open vision. There was no open vision. Does that mean there was no open interpretation? Or does that mean there was no prophecy? What does it mean there's no open vision? There was no open vision. There were not many visions. This one says, messages from the Lord are very rare. Okay. And the word of the Lord was rare if there was no frequent vision. Okay, so that's what they're trying to say. I was confused where it says there was no open vision. So basically what was happening is the Lord is stepping back. He's not making himself seen and heard and known for a while. How long have you been? I have no idea what you're asking me. Oh, are you trying to say that I'm on drugs? Why? Simply because I'm congested? Really funny. Yes, yeah, my nose is running, so whatever. All right. Okay, so the Lord hasn't been visiting them as often as he wants. He's starting to like take a step back. And it came to pass at the time when Eli was laid down in his place, his eyes began to wax dim, that he could not see. Oh, he's going blind? And the air of the lamp of God went out of the temple of the Lord, where the ark was, and Samuel lay down to sleep. Thus the Lord called Samuel, and he answered, Here I am. And he ran unto Eli and said, Here I am, for thou callest me. And he said, I called not, lie down again. And he went and lay down. And the Lord called again, Samuel. And Samuel arose and went to Eli and said, Here I am, for thou called me. And he answered, I called not, my son, lie down again. Okay, so the Lord is calling him, but he thinks it's his father calling him. So he keeps getting up out of bed, running to his father and like, what's the matter, Eli? Like, what's going on? And Eli's like, I didn't call you. Well, the priest, Samuel's not the father, but the priest is like, I didn't call you. The Lord is talking to him. Now Samuel did not know the Lord, neither was the word of the Lord yet revealed unto him. And the Lord called Samuel again the third time. He arose, went to Eli, and says, Here I am, for thou called me. And Eli perceived that the Lord had called the child. Therefore Eli said unto Samuel, Go lie down, and it shall be, if he call thee, that thou shalt say, Speak, Lord, for thy servant heard. So Samuel went and lay down in the place. And the Lord came and stood and called as other time, Samuel, Samuel. Then Samuel answered, Speak, for thy servant heard. And the Lord said unto Samuel, Behold, I will do a thing in Israel at which both the ears of everyone that hear shall tingle. In that day I will perform against Eli all things which I have spoken concerning his house. When I begin, I will also make an end. For I have told him that I will judge his house for every iniquity which he knoweth, because his sons made themselves vile, and he restrained them not. And therefore I have sworn unto the house of Eli that the iniquity of Eli's house shall not be purged with sacrifice nor offering forever. And Samuel laid until the morning, and opened the doors of the house of the Lord, and Samuel feared to show Eli the vision. Then Eli called Samuel and said, Samuel, my son. And he answered, Here I am. And he said, What is this thing that the Lord had told unto thee? I pray thee, hide it not from me. God do so to thee, and more so also, if thou hide anything from me of all things that he said unto thee. So basically, he's like, okay, what did the Lord say? What did the Lord say? Tell me. And Samuel told him every whit and hid nothing from him. And he says, it is the Lord, let him do what's something him good. And Samuel grew, and the Lord was with him, and he did let none of his words fall to the ground. And all of Israel from Dan to even Beersheba knew that Samuel was established to be a prophet of the Lord. And the Lord appeared again in Shiloh, for the Lord revealed himself to Samuel in Shiloh by the word of the Lord. Okay, so now he basically said to Samuel, I'm going to make that prophecy come true. Eli did not control his children. He had the ability and the power to reprimand and control his children. Because he didn't do it, then I'm bringing down the house of Eli. And he will make some sort of sound which people will hear and people will acknowledge. Oh, thank you, Arturo. Have a good day as well. Which people will hear. He'll make some sort of sound that'll make their ears tingling, but he is going to have to punish them for their indiscretions. Chapter 4. And the word of Samuel came to all of Israel. Now Israel went out against the Philistines to battle and pitched beside Ebenezer. And the Philistines pitched in Aphek. And the Philistines put themselves in array against Israel. And when they joined the battle, Israel was smitten before the Philistines, and they slew the army in the field, about 4,000 men. And when the people came into the camp, the elders of Israel said, wherefore had the Lord smitten us today before the Philistines? Let us fetch the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of Shiloh unto us, that when it cometh among us, it may save us out of the hand of the enemies. Okay, so now this is interesting. I'm going to pause right a second. So they still have the ark of the covenant. Now people want to take this for themselves because it is the direct connection to the Lord, which makes me, please forgive me, is the Ark of the Covenant actually a communication device that gives direct connection to the Lord? Think about it. I mean, remember we spoke about how the tabernacle was built a certain way. The colors, the type of wood, the type of curtains with colors, what is allowed and not allowed on the type of incense, the oil, the effort, like all this thing was all surrounding what we had to do in order for the Lord to be within our presence. Now they want to steal the Ark of the Covenant so that the Lord will be among them. Oh, my puzzle came up. Interesting. Okay. Usually when the puzzle comes up, it starts heavily getting moderated. So I'm wondering, what did I say? Probably because I'm talking about the Ark of the Covenant. I don't know. But is the Ark of the Covenant a communication device on bringing the Lord? It's like the device you need, which is not necessarily, because the Lord would appear to people in dreams, would appear to people in visions. But in order for him to actually be there among people, they needed the Ark of the Covenant. So, just an aside. What? I know you can't. What are you talking about? I know you can't reach it. Reach what? I miss the context, Steve. So I have no idea what you're talking about. So anyway, so people went to Shiloh that they may bring from them the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord of hosts, which dwelleth between the cherubims. And the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were there with the Ark of the Covenant. Okay, so now Hophni and Phinehas, remember, are both supposed to die the same day. Now, remember my oddball theory about possibly radioactivity? So I'm curious if they're going to die involving the Ark of the Covenant. And if that's the case, then once again, it's solidifying my theory, but let's see. When the ark of the covenant of the Lord came into the camp, all of Israel shouted with a great shout, so that the earth rang again. And when the Philistines heard the noise of that shout, they said, "What meaneth the noise of this great shout in the camp?" They're hearing things. And they understood that the ark of the Lord had come into the camp. And the Philistines were afraid, for they said, "God has come into the camp." And they said, "Woe unto us, for here not been such a thing hereto before. Woe unto us, I shall deliver us out of the hand of these mighty gods. These are the gods that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness." Okay, so now they are calling the Lord multiple gods. Woe unto us! We shall deliver us out of the hands of these mighty gods. They're talking about the Lord. These are the gods that smote the Egyptians with all the plagues in the wilderness. So that's interesting. Think about that for a second. They are referring to the Lord as plural. These are the gods. So be strong and quit yourself like men, O ye Philistines, that ye not be servants unto Hebrews, as they have been to you. Quit yourselves like men and fight. And the Philistines fought, and Israel was smitten, that they fled every man to his tent. And there was a very great slaughter. For there fell Israel 30,000 footmen. I don't speak Spanish, I'm sorry. The ark of the God was taken, and the two sons of Eli, Hophni and Phinehas, were slain. Okay, so that makes sense. So they were actually slain. So it wasn't the ark itself that killed them. The fact that they were with the ark, they were slain. And there ran a man of Benjamin out of the army, and came to Shiloh the same day with his clothes rent, with earth upon his head. And when he came low, Eli sat upon the seat of the wayside watching, for his heart trembled for the ark of the God. And when the man came out on the city, he told it, and the city cried out. Oh, you're Brazilian? Welcome to the show. When Eli heard the noise of crying, he said, "What meaneth the noise of the tumult?" And the man came in hastily and told Eli. Now Eli was 98 years old, and his eyes were dim, and he could not see. And the man said unto Eli, "I am he that came out of the army, and fled today out of the army." And he said, "Where is there my son?" And the messenger answered and said unto Israel before the Philistines, that there had been also a great slaughter among the people, and the two sons, Hophni and Phinehas, are dead, and the ark of the God has been taken. Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying. And it came to pass, when he mentioned of the ark of God, that he fell from off the seat backward by the side of the gate, and he broke his neck, and he died. So they all died. For he was an old man and heavy, and he had judged Israel for 40 years. Hello, Nicole. Welcome to the show. I'm on 1 Samuel chapter 4, verse 19, if you want to know where I am. I'm reading the King James Bible. We're on 1 Samuel 4:19. His daughter-in-law Phinehas' wife was with child, near to be delivered. And when she heard the tidings that the ark of the God was taken, and her father-in-law and her husband were dead, she bowed herself and traveled, for her pains came upon her. And about the time of her death, the woman that stood by her unto her, "Fear not, for thou hast borne a son." But she answered not, neither did she regard it. And the name of the child was Ishtabod, saying, "The glory is departed from Israel, because the ark of the God was taken, and because of her father-in-law and her husband." And she said, "The glory is departed from Israel, the ark of the God is taken." Thank you. I'm actually on my lunch break, but I'm just going to listen. Aw, thank you so much. Being in orientation. Okay, I hope everything is okay. I don't belong to any church. When you ask what church I belong to, oh, you got a new job. Congratulations. Lots of luck with the new job. I know orientation, you got to go through the whole program, but good luck with it. So, all right. So, very interesting. So the Ark of the God was taken. Um it's no longer in the hands of the children of Israel. I'm curious, like I said, is the Ark of the Covenant some sort of communication device that leads you directly to talking to the Lord? And now that it was taken and stolen, is it going to be beneficial to whoever has taken it, or is it going to be the bad thing? Oh, you don't understand English. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't understand Spanish, so we're both at a loss. But thank you so much. All right, chapter 5. The Philistines took the ark of God and brought it from Ebenezer to Ashdod. And when the Philistines took the ark of God, they brought it into the house of Dagon and set it by Dagon. And when they of the Ashdod arose on the morrow, behold, Dagon was fallen upon his face to the earth before the ark of the Lord. And they took Dagon and set him in his place again. And when they arose early on the morrow, behold, Dagon has fallen upon his face to the ground before the ark of the Lord. And the head of Dagon and both the palms of hands were cut up upon the threshold. Only the stump of Dagon. Okay, so Dagon is their god. Oh, sorry, guys. Oh, I can't stop. My nose can't stop running. This is so bad. All right, so Dagon is their god. So this is interesting. They put the Ark of the Covenant in there, and their god keeps falling down. And now the god that both the palms of his hands were cut off from the threshold. Therefore, neither the priest of Dagon nor that come into Dagon's house tread on the threshold of Dagon in Ashdod unto this day. But the hand of the Lord was heavy upon Ashdod, and he destroyed them, and smote them with emerods, even Ashdod of the coast thereof. And when the men of Ashdod saw it was so, they said, the ark of the God of Israel shall not abide with us, for his hand sore upon us and upon Dagon our God. Okay, so that's what he was doing. He was literally destroying Dagon each and every time. It just kept falling over. So their statue of their God just kept kneeling down before. They sent thereof and gathered all the lords the Philistines unto them and said, what shall we do with the ark of the God of Israel? And they answered, let the God of Israel be carried unto Gath. They carried the ark of God of Israel about there. And it was so that after they carried it about, the hand of the Lord was against the city with a very great destruction. And he smote the men of the city, both small and great, that they had emerods in their secret parts. Therefore they set the ark of the God to Ekron. And it came to pass, as the ark of God came to Ekron, that the Ekronites cried out, saying, they have brought the ark of the God of Israel to us to slay our people. So they sent and gathered together all the lords of Philistines and said, send away the God of Israel. Let it go to his own place and slay us not and our people. For there was a deadly destruction throughout all the city, and the hand of God was very heavy there. And the men that died were not smitten with the emerods, and the cry of the city went up to heaven. So basically, everywhere this ark is coming, they're like, nope, 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 don't bring it here. We don't want it. And he's destroying the entire city just for being there with the ark. So this thing, and remember, this is very important. Um, the ark is not protected by the tabernacle. That's one thing that they're forgetting, which is making me solidify that theory in regards to this Ark of the Covenant. Originally, the Ark of the Covenant was protected by the priests and protected by the tabernacle. Because we don't have the priest protection, we don't have the tabernacle protection, Everywhere this thing is going is causing mass destruction, deadly destruction. Everybody is getting destroyed, which once again, it's making me sound like, is this thing completely so powerful that people cannot even be within its presence, that they cannot even be around this ark? Hold on one moment. I just want to see something. Um, okay. Okay. All right. So now we're on Samuel chapter 6. Just had to respond to a message. Sorry about that, guys. And the ark of the Lord was in the country of the Philistine for 7 months. So this thing is being traveled from city to city, and all the cities are getting destroyed. The Philistines called for the priests and the diviners and saying, "What shall we do with this ark of the Lord? Tell us, where shall we send it to his place?" And they said, "If ye send away the ark of the God of Israel, send it not empty, but in any wise return him a trespass offering. Then ye shall be healed, and it shall be known to you why his hand is not removed from you." And they said, "What shall be the trespass offering, which shall return to him?" And they answered, 5 golden emerods, 5 golden mice, according to the number of the lords of the Philistines, for one plague was on all ye and all your lords. Okay, so each of the place that they destroyed, 1 golden ephod, 1 golden mice for each one. And I don't know what a mice is. I mean, I don't think it's a mouse. I think that it's something else. I mean, it might be something with the. So I'm going to see what is mice in the Bible. Uh, all right, so mice are mentioned in several contexts. Uh, it's symbolizing impurity and moral decay. The Philistines returned the Ark of the Covenant with golden mice, indicating that their association with divine judgment and illness. Isaiah also classifies mice as unclean animals. Okay, so this is more like, but when they're seeing 5 golden mice, often symbolizing with golden mice, indicating their divine judgment. I guess they created a golden mice sculpture. I'm not too sure what that means. Okay, so wait a minute. 5 golden emerods and 5 golden mice, according to the number of lords of the Philistines, for one plague was on you all and your lords. Wherefore ye shall make images of your emerods and images of your mice that mar the land, and ye shall give glory unto the God of Israel. Okay, so they're creating some sort of golden sculpture to give them. And ye shall give glory to the God of Israel. Peradventure he will lighten his hand from off of you, and from off your gods, and from off your land. Wherefore then do ye harden your hearts, as the Egyptians and the Pharaoh hardened their hearts? When he had wrought wonderfully among them, did they not let the people go, and they departed? Now therefore make a new cart, and take too much kine. From there have come no yoke, and tie the kine to the cart, and bring their calves home from them. Take the ark of the Lord, lay it upon the cart, and put the jewels of gold, which ye return for as a trespass offering, in a coffer by the side, and send it away. That Okay, so basically they're saying put it in a cart, put the jewels in the cart, and just let it go wherever the it draws, and see if it goes way on its own coast to Bethlehem. Then he had done us great evil. But if not, then we shall know it is not in his hand that smote us. It was a chance that happened to us. And so the men did so. They took too much kine, tied it to the cart, and shut up their calves at home. And they laid the ark of the Lord upon the cart and the coffers, the mice of gold, and the images of their emerods. The kine took straight away to the way of Bethlehem and along the highway, lowing as they went, and turned not aside to the right or left. And the lords of the Philistines went after them onto the border of Bethleshemah. And they of Bethleshemah were reaping their wheat harvest in the ark, and they lifted up their eyes and saw the ark and rejoiced to see it. The cart came down the field of Joshua, a Bethlehemite, and stood there, where there was a cart of great stone. And they clave the wood onto the cart and offered the kine a burnt offering unto the Lord. The Levites took down the ark of the Lord, and the coffer was with it, and wherein jewels of gold were there, and put them on the great stone. The men of Bethleshemah offered burnt offerings and sacrifices the same day unto the Lord. And when the 5 lords of the Philistines had seen it, they returned to Ekron the same day. And these are the golden emeralds which the Philistines returned for a trespass offering unto the Lord. And a shodan of Gaza, one for Akalon, one for Goth, one for Ekron. And the gold mice, according to the number of the cities of the Philistines, belonging to the 5 lords, both fenced in the cities, and of the country villages, even unto the great stone of Abel, where they set down the ark of the Lord, which was stone remained, unto this day in the field of Joshua and Bethshemite. And he smote the men of Bethshemah, because they had looked into the ark of the Lord. Even he smote the people of 50,000 and 60 men. And the people lamented, because the Lord had smitten many of the people with a great slaughter. And the men of Bethsheba said, who is able to stand before this holy Lord God, and to whom shall he go up from us? And they sent messengers to the inhabitants of Kirjath-jearim, saying, the Philistines have brought again the ark of the Lord. Come ye down and fetch it up to you. So now they received the ark of the Lord. What they should have done was put it in their tabernacle, but they opened it up. And because they opened it up, they weren't supposed to, and they know they're not supposed to open up. They opened it up, and 50,000 men died. Once again, I'm going to say this. Could the Ark of the Covenant really be so powerful, radioactive, that is why these people keep dropping dead every time they open it up? The only way to be near this thing, you need to have the protective, you need to have the incense, you need to have the building. Everybody who's coming in contact with this Ark of the Covenant is getting destroyed. Everything, like it's destroying everything. So it's making me believe that there's more to this Ark of the Covenant than what we know. I really, really believe, as crazy as this sounds, that the Ark of the Covenant is indeed some form of radioactive. It's some form of something that just a human coming in contact with this thing kills them instantly. Because all it says is God smites them down, God kills them. Is he coming down and killing them, or is it just the power radiating from this ark that's killing them? All right, I am going to end it here because I am so congested. I'm having trouble reading and breathing, and it feels like I'm breathing out of liquid. Plus, this is a good spot. It's 2:00. I do have things to do, and I know I totally did this late. So obviously, this was a quick show. Tomorrow, I have no plans. So tomorrow, I will be back normal time, which is 10 a.m. Central Time. We are going to do show number 94, and it's going to be Samuel chapter 7. So we did go through 6 chapters. So that's pretty good. So Samuel chapter 7, we're going to start tomorrow. And I want to thank everybody for coming. Lots of love. Yeah, I'm completely congested. I can't even breathe. So everyone, have a great day. I will see you guys tomorrow, and we'll start episode 94. Take care, everyone. And take care, YouTube side.